Okay. I don't know how to start. Hi guys, my name is Maggie McCormick. So basically my story today is telling you guys and answering questions about how I manage a full-time job along with being a Instagram influencer, content creator, whatever you want to call it. So I asked you guys on my Instagram any questions that you have for me in regards to how I manage doing Instagram and having a full-time job. And I got a lot of great DMs and answers. So I figured I'd start off and read you guys what the question is and then answer it. And yeah, this is my first YouTube video ever. I have wanted to start a YouTube channel ever since I was in 6th grade. That's when I started watching YouTube and I thought it was so cool. So yeah, I think it's kind of cool that I'm making a YouTube video now. And yeah. Okay, so the first question is how did I get started on Instagram? So I started my blog, becomingmaggie.com, back in around the fall of 2018. So basically I just started the blog as a creative outlet. I thought it was a great way to share all of my kind of styling tips and tricks on the blog, and that just kind of translated over onto Instagram. So whatever I was posting on the blog, I would be posting on Instagram as well. I did it as a hobby. I thought it was a great way to connect with people. I had people and my friends asking me all the time how to style certain things, what was trendy and whatnot, so I just figured why not put all of my knowledge at the time on a blog, and I thought it was so fun. And that's kind of where it all started. Everything that has gone over onto Instagram, it kind of manifested it into itself and it has grown into what it is today, which I'm super proud of. So yeah, that is how I got started on Instagram. The next question that I got is, what did you go to school for? So what I went to school for and what my current full-time job is I'm a full-time medical device sales rep. So I went to school for pharmaceutical and healthcare marketing. It is a marketing degree, but it's super specific to the healthcare field. Being in this profession now, I find it super interesting, and it's the total opposite of what Instagram and the fashion world is. And that's why I kind of really enjoy it. I'm in heart surgeries all the time because the job that I'm in, it's more specified in the cardiac field. So the next question is, what would your advice be for someone wanting to get into blogging? My advice would be to just do it. When I started, I was super nervous. I had no idea what people were going to think of me, if they would think it was weird. My advice, just start, because you have no idea where it could take you. The possibilities are endless. And if you asked me when I first started if I thought I would be at where I am right now, I would have thought you were lying. So my advice, if you're passionate about it, just start. So the next question is, how did I grow my following? It kind of just happened over time as I was posting consistently on my blog and Instagram, and I noticed that Instagram, I was getting more traffic on Instagram than I was on my blog. So eventually I started focusing more on Instagram content creation. So my following kind of grew over time. I was super patient. I wasn't really looking to grow a following in the beginning, which I think is key. If you're only looking to gain followers every day, you're gonna get really impatient and really frustrated because it takes time, it takes patience. So yeah, I can get into a whole other video on how I grew my following to what it is now. But yeah, I don't know if that answered your question. Okay, and then the question of my whole entire existence, no, I'm kidding. But the question that I've been asked so many times on Instagram is, how the hell do I manage a full-time job with doing Instagram and content creation? Like I said before, my full-time job is a medical device sales rep. So before COVID happened, how I was managing my full-time job and Instagram was I would obviously work my 9 to 5 job during the week. If I had time to shoot before or after work, I would take the opportunity to do that. So if I needed to wake up at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock to shoot some content for an hour or two before work, I would force myself to get up and I would do that. If I needed to go to a location and shoot some content after work, I would do that as well. So I feel like pre-COVID, I got really good at managing my time. So if I didn't need to shoot anything during the weekdays before and or after work, I would take my time on the weekends to shoot all of my content. I basically don't really have a break between my full-time job and Instagram. So on the weekends, I would wake up really early on Saturday, praying to God that it would be a nice day. And I would shoot around 5 to 7 looks in the weekend, just so I would have content to post for the next week. So because I had a full-time job, my weekends were full of me scouting locations to shoot at, shooting, and then coming home and editing my photos. So that was all pre-COVID. During COVID, the majority of my job is spent being in hospitals and working with these surgeons and physicians. We as sales reps were not allowed to go into hospitals because they were trying to limit as many people as possible in these hospitals, which makes complete sense. So post-COVID, when it comes to my blog and Instagram, because doing these emails and updating my Excel spreadsheets don't take that much time. It doesn't take me 8 hours to update an Excel spreadsheet and send emails, you know? So with the more free time that I've had, even though I don't really call it free time, I've been able to go outside into my backyard and shoot some content. So post-COVID, this is where I've kind of seen the most growth in my Instagram account because I've been able to take the time to post more on stories. I'm able to really sit down and figure out the type of content that I want to create. For example, going into my backyard and shooting content, I've been able to do that more of having a more free schedule. So I feel like that's been very beneficial for me in my job as an Instagram content creator or influencer. So yeah, that was a really long answer, but I hope that answered your question. What it boils down to is time management, giving up, time on your weekends, and just really wanting it. And I, from the beginning, have really wanted to show people my style and my aesthetic, and I've wanted to inspire people and help people. And I think that mindset has served me really well in not only growing my platform, but balancing my work life with my content creation on Instagram. So a lot of questions that I get also is, how do I plan out my content? How far ahead do you plan out your feed, and how do you keep it organized? I try to organize my outfits, and then, okay, let me restart. From the beginning, I organize my outfits on how I want my feed to look on my clothing rack that you see back here. Once I figure out what my outfits are going to look like, I like to plan out how my feed is going to look like. So do I want a very neutral and minimalistic background? Do I want to go into a fields and shoot an outfit there? It all depends on what my aesthetic is for that week/month, and then I plan out my feed accordingly. A big tip that I have for trying to plan out an aesthetic feed is using the app preview, and I'm gonna leave a little kind of snapshot of what the app preview looks like. You don't have to sign into your Instagram account in order to use this app. You can if you want, and it updates the app when you update your Instagram account, but I always get nervous using third-party apps, so I just manually upload my photos into the account, and then whatever is planned in my feed for that day, that week, I will then upload it into Instagram. So using an app to organize your feed is super helpful and has helped me tremendously in keeping my aesthetic. So yeah, that's kind of how I plan out my feed.